Welcome back. This is Even I Can Trade. Once again, with another video. We are still plugging away, doing our thing, trading every single day as much as possible, trying to build wealth and refine said strategy. As a reminder, I am most often found on Discord. This Discord right here, the Even I Can Trade Discord. You can see all the rooms. We are expanding. I just added some items to the training area today for your training needs. If you need some need to catch up on how to trade options and what's this, what's that, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. And you can find a good start right here in the training section. If you are a member, you're going to get access to all my trades. You can see I trade, lots of trades right here. We're still plugging away every single day. Got our 1 DTE, and I'm even started a long-term, more monthly trade for people who do not have the time or inclination to be trading 0 DTE or don't have time throughout the day to monitor their trades. I put a special trade in here for you. These are usually 30, 45 days out at a time with adjustments, all right there for you. All you have to do is sign up and be a member to get access to that. But anyway, please come join the Discord, even if you don't want any of that. I have my general section is free to the public, so you don't need to be a member to see this or talk to me or anything like that. Come on in, because my current members don't like to talk for some reason. I don't really understand why. They're very quiet bunch. They always DM me, but they don't like to talk in public. So come on, give me some company up in here. Let's talk about trading. Let's talk about options, because I feel like a lot of times it's just me sitting here screaming into the void. The link will be in the description. But anyway, we are here today to really talk about a cautionary tale. One thing I like to do every so often is reflect on my worst trades or bad trades and what could I have done better? How could I have avoided the bad stuff that came from that trade? Is there anything that I could have done? How could I clean this up a little bit and implement that into my set of rules, into my strategy going forward? And for this year, my nemesis day is actually August, I think it's August. August 28th. That day will live in infamy for 2023 for me, because it was a perfect storm. At this time, I was trading without using stops. And I don't like using stops, didn't like using stops for various reasons. And I was doing just fine without them. And, understanding, that there is a hole there. I knew there was a hole in the strategy, but when you get comfortable with something, that's when things start to kind of shoot straight through the gaps that you leave when you start to get comfortable, right? So this particular day, normally I would be in front of the screens watching the trades all day, be on top of it. That's why I didn't, really care about stops that much, because I could just kind of feel it out, kind of see what's going on myself. But this particular day I had a meeting at work, and I still had the trade on, and everything was going pretty good. The market was pretty stable, pretty flat. There wasn't really much going on this particular day. No news, nothing crazy that I could really figure out. So I felt I'm not to say that I felt good about it. Nothing occurred to me to say, hey, you're going to be in a meeting for a little while, so put on a stop or close the trade or whatever. It just didn't occur to me, because everything had been going pretty smoothly up to this point for months, right? So, I put on a trade on August 28th, just like any other day. It was actually a call spread to take advantage of that. VIX was right around 15, which is on the lower side of the house. Not extremely low, but low. There just was no signs of anything out of the ordinary or anything that would have popped any kind of alarm bells at the time for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the trade as it happened. Then I'm going to back up and apply my new rules that came out of this trade and similar trades to see what the difference would be in those two trades. So I put on the call spread a little, probably not when I should have, honestly. Looking at the chart, I put it on right at this time, about 2 minutes from now at 11:42. So I'm going to let this run. We're in Thinkorswim on demand, think back, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to put on the trade as I put it on at the time. So I put on the trade and I did a 44.85, 44.90 spread. So let's find that here. And it was for August 29th expiration. So it would be a 1 DTE. And this time I had started to gravitate towards 1 DTE for various reasons. So let's see, let's find 44.85 right here. Okay. So it was this spread. I sold it for 15 cents. Might as well just go ahead and pop it in. 15, 20 cents, doesn't matter. I had 18 contracts on at the time, something like that. So boom, we're going to go ahead and pop that in, see if we can get a fill. Sometimes it gets a little finicky on demand, trying to get filled for whatever reason. There you go, 15 cents, whatever, 17 cents. In the real world, it'd be 15 cents because there's no, it's a 5-cent denomination, but whatever. So we're in there, pretty comfortable. My meeting is the next day, next morning. So this day actually went pretty smoothly, right? Nothing really happened for the rest of the day. You know, just did what it did. So I'm just going to fast forward to the end of the day and kind of show you. We're just going to fast forward about 3:40 in the afternoon, whatever. So you can see the market didn't do anything. It just went sideways, which is great for our position, right? So you can see right here, you know, we got a net liquid of about 270. That net liquid is the money that is left to make in the trade, or potential money that you could make in the trade, as far as how Thinkorswim shows it. So you can see once this stops buffering, we'll see where we are at the end of the day. We're probably at a little bit of a profit by that point, but nothing out of the ordinary. It was fine, right? Now, we're still not at a point where we are closing trades that day, because I might have closed it that day if we didn't have a pattern day trade to worry about, but that's why we're doing 1 DTEs and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, you can see we're at a nice profit. Everything's rolling along just fine. We got about $180 more to make out of the trade, and everything's just cruising, right? So then we get to the 29th. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to about 9:40 in the morning on the 29th. Fast forward there. So we get a little pop in the market. You know, nothing at all to really be concerned about. The market's up like 20 points. This is nothing out of the ordinary. It looks fine, right? We are way up here in the stratosphere, 44.85, past R3 as far as the pivots, which is another one of my things that I try to look for. I try to trade past R3 whenever possible. But here is the first point of concern. So when you are using pivot points, you have to pay attention to how tight the pivots are. This is probably on the edge of what I would consider tight or non-tight. So S3 and R3 are about 100 points, or exactly 100 points apart. I want to see at least 100 points apart when I'm looking to use the pivot points as a guideline. If they're closer than that, then I kind of throw them out, don't really pay attention to them that much or diminish the importance of them. But this is right on the edge, literally on the edge of what I pay attention to. So I see we're above R3. I feel good about that. The market usually trades within R2 and S2 in general. Nothing, there's no news, I believe, on this day or anything like that. This is a Tuesday, so there's no FOMC. FOMCs are on Wednesday. Just there's nothing out of the ordinary. We get a little pop in the morning, nothing to be concerned about. You can see we're still in profit. Everything is still looking good. And it's about this time that I'm about to head out the door for my meeting that I can't monitor the trade, right? So head out the door, get on the road. I'm gone. Trade is rolling. So let us fast forward maybe an hour. See what happens. Now this whole time I'm on the road. Boom, right? So we skyrocket. You know, what is that? 40 to 40, 70. So like 20, 25, 30 points in an hour, which is crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot. Still not breached, but that's concerning. Very concerning. Usually the market doesn't move like this unless there's some news, which I don't remember there being any significant news. There probably was, but I missed it if there was. Like I said, I'm on the road. I'm thinking about my meeting at this point, but look at the account. Bam, down $1,000, just like that, right? So if we look at the spread itself, if I can get this thing to, so the spread itself, where are we at? So we got the trade in at 17 cents. Now we're at 65, 70 cents, over 70 cents as far as the value of the trade, which is bad. We want lower numbers, not higher numbers, right? Higher numbers means we have to pay. So we're over $1,000 in loss at this point. And we'd have to recover about $1,300 on the trade to be whole at this point. So this is not total disaster at this point, but it's bad, and I don't even know it, right? Like, I'm just on the road. I'm getting ready for my meeting. I'm trying to get parked in the garage and everything like that. So I have no idea any of this is going on right now, right? So let's fast forward another hour. See where we're at. Boom, we get another whole entire leg up, and now we're right on the cusp of being breached. This is bad. This is real bad, right? This is you don't want this. You don't want this smoke, right? Some people wait until the market gets to their short strike to do anything or to adjust or whatever. I don't. I have a set criteria for that now as far as exactly when I look to adjust. But this, for one, I don't like this. This is bad, right? This is like, okay, pull the fire alarm. And you can see we went from $1,000 loss to now a $2,000 loss, $3,000 loss, whatever it is. Once it stabilizes, $3,600, $3,700 loss, right? And we went from 17 cents. We were down 70 cents. Now we're above $2.20. And I know from my history, I don't want to go above $1 loss on these types of spreads. $1 loss, that's going to take a while to make up for. A $2 loss is really going to hurt. Okay, so let me fast forward to the time that I actually got out of my meeting, looked at the market, got over my heart attack, and tried to take some sort of action. And that was at about 2:57. So let's fast forward to 2:57, which is 14:50. Let me just do 14:50, whatever, something like that. All right, so we'll let this load, and you see the market is just relentless. The market does this sometimes. Like, it's rare, but when the market gets going, the market gets going. It's a bull. That's why they call it a bull market, because it's just going, right? It ain't stopping. So now you can see losses have mounted even more. We're completely breached. Market's at 44.92. Our short strike and our long strike have both been breached. The long strike's at 44.90. You can see we were at 17 cents. Now we're at $3.40. as far as the debit on our spread. The spread is only $5 wide, so we've gotten more than half of our total capital eaten up in losses at this point. So our total capital allocated is $9,000. We're at $5,600 in loss. So I'm looking at this. Of course, I'm just like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. What the heck? Oh no. Once I get over that, then I try my best to save and salvage something. So what I did at the time was try to roll it to the next day and hope that this is an overextension and overreaction to whatever is going on. So basically I rolled this I've rolled it like 5 points up because that's all I could really find at the time and think to do. I rolled it from 44.85 to 44.95 and took I think it was like $1 loss, $1 immediate loss on that particular trade at the time. I'm not gonna bother putting it in here and doing all that. I'll just fast forward to the time where I just closed everything out, which was the next day, which was the 30th at basically 2 o'clock. Yeah, 13. Is that 2? No, 13 is 158. So I just fast forward to 158. 13, 52 is good enough. So we'll fast forward, we'll see where the chart is. So boom, the market did not relent. So I was at 44.90, which is about right here. And the market barely even touched 44.90 the whole day. So at this point, I just try to salvage anything from the roll. I didn't add any more money to the roll or anything like that. It was the same contracts, which is another reason that the position that I got was so crappy. But it was the same contracts. I didn't want to allocate any more capital to it or anything else at the time. I just wanted to preserve what I had. So I just tried to find what I could with the existing allocated money. So I think it was this dip right here that I was just like, let me get out and salvage what I can off of this particular dip right here before it wants to shoot through Saturn and do something else crazy. I don't even, let me just get out, basically, right? Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. So this is my first exit. Earlier on that day, you know, I thought that there was some hope, you know, when it got down here. So that's why I didn't get out here, but that quickly dissipated. So I was like, the next dip that I see, I'm out, and I was out for a huge loss, huge loss. I think this was, it ended up basically being, I think a $5,000 loss all in, something like that. Stuff, you don't want those problems, right? You don't want those problems. So reflecting on this, understanding that the market can just do this, you know, this whole thing. Now, let me show you, give you some context about where the market was, right? So the market actually just came out of a period of a sharp drop, and we navigated the sharp drop just fine as far as our trading, right? You know, we were inputs, we stayed ahead of it, didn't have to roll or anything like that. This was fine. Volatility was expanding. That helped me stay away and lower than where the market was going. But then all of a sudden it just reversed, like nothing ever happened, right? And kicked up out of nowhere. So this was totally unexpected for me. And you know, that it is what it is, right? But what I learned from this, number one, is to fear a volatility, a sudden volatility expansion or contraction event, or basically a sharp market move, either direction, right? I think going in the other way is more vicious, but you know, this is still vicious, right? To stops, right? Like, I think it took 2 more trades, but now I am absolutely a stop Nazi. I'm gonna put a stop on, even if I get stopped out and the market reverses and I would have won. Whatever, I don't care. I cannot and will not suffer this again, right? I'll get stopped out every time, 10 times before, even more than that, before I equal one of these types of trades, right? And granted, I was in a meeting. If I wasn't in a meeting, I would have seen it earlier and got out and everything like that, but I don't care. I'm not gonna not having this, right? Just not having it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this back and I'm going to play it as with a stop so you can see the difference. So you see the loss right here. This is, I mean, I know I didn't completely do the whole trade, but you know, it's like it would ended up being like $5 grand, right? Out of that trading cap, out of $9 grand. That's huge, right? So I'm gonna go play this back, and I'm gonna go back to the time where I put on the original trade, which was 1140, 1142, whatever it was here. Let's see, 42, 41. Let's give us a little minute. All right, so we're going back here. I'm gonna reset. And we're gonna do this trade the way I would do it today, right? Same trade, but just changed what I would change today. 40, what was it, 44.85 or something? Yeah, 44.85.90. Right here. So we just gotta wait for the thing to catch up. All right, here we go. It's caught up. So we're just gonna throw this on. It was 18. 18. Let's throw that on. Probably have to drop this down, get it to go through. There we go. All right, so we're in there. Now the first thing that I do nowadays is go straight over here, right click, close an order, stop. And I will change this to bid. Usually it doesn't show up on this for some reason, but whatever. Go in and put my stop at 0.6. My stop is either going to be at 0.6, 0.7, or 0.8. Okay, so usually trying to do 3 times my credit. And oftentimes I'm in an iron condor, so that's why it's still 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, even if it's a 15-cent trade, because I'm usually on both sides of the market. So go ahead and pop this on, change this to good till canceled, and got my armor on, right? So there. So now we're gonna fast forward to the next day. And we're gonna take it to like, I think it started popping at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock. And we're gonna see what happens. All right, so there's our trade. Now early on in the day, the trade was, could have closed the trade at 5 cents, right? Could have closed it. That's another thing I would think about nowadays that I didn't even think about here. Because I was so comfortable. As soon as I saw a little pop like that, I would have immediately closed the trade, right? If I was thinking about it nowadays. But back then, it was just let it ride. It's doing fine. Don't want to pay the fees, whatever, whatever. But we're starting to get a little pop here around 10 o'clock. Let me zoom in some more so you see how crazy this looks. Around 9:45, it was at 5 cents. The trade's at 5 cents. Now it's already at 20 cents, right? But we're going to fast forward a little bit, and we're just going to see if we can find the point where the trade is going to stop out. I hate how long the buffering takes. when you're trying to record, but you know, it is what it is. Come on, buffer, hurry up. I think the stop is going to be somewhere around here. Hope I'm right. So this is like 10.20. Oh yeah, we're close. 57 cents. So we're like right on it, right? Let's see where the monitor says we are. So we're down 650 bucks right now. So we'll probably be down about 700. Realistically, oh, there we go. Look at that. I was gonna say realistically about 750 bucks once everything is added in. Sometimes you got a little slippage with the, you know, the way that the stops work. Like you'll put in a 60-cent stop, but you'll get out for like 65 or 70 cents sometimes, just the way how things work. But we lost $730. So that is, in real life, I lost about $5,000. Way I would do it right now, I would lose about $750. So about a 7x less loss this way. And then what would I do from here nowadays? I would take a look at the market. If I was a meeting, I wouldn't even see this till the end of the day. But if I were looking at it on a daily, like I normally would, I would see the market, I would see the skyrocket mission to the moon here, and I would walk away for that day. Of course, I would look at it to see if we get any kind of reversal or whatever, but we know how the day turned out. It breached, you know, R3 and everything like that. It just didn't stop. And as a matter of fact, I'll show you why I would walk away for that day or not trade that day. If we fast forward to like 3:20, whatever that day. So we fast forward and we can see this is how the day ended up. There was no sign that the market was going to stop. So a sign that the market was going to stop or flatten out to a significant degree for me would have been the stochastics dipping below the 20 line. And this showing a significant dip down, you know, here somewhere, right? But what it did is it kept making higher highs and higher highs and higher highs. This is that measured move that I like to talk about in my setups. So this measured move was an entire day's move. So the highs kept stacking, higher high, higher high. There was no lower low. They were all higher highs and higher lows. So there was nothing indicating to me that this was going to stop. So the most I would have done, and I probably wouldn't even done this, was wait until the very, very end of the day and then make probably a put trade, honestly, if anything. So a put spread, you see how wide the pivot points are now? So you got 43.44, 46.04. So that's very wide. See how narrow these pivot points look on this day as compared to the next day? So these pivot points are way more relevant than these because this is just too tight. So with that being said, looking at this and then looking at my other analytics and everything like that, you know, just looking at everything, I would have decided, is it prudent to place another trade or not? But I wouldn't have traded anything else for this particular day within this day's time frame. There might have been a put trade or something like that for the next day. Let's take a look just real quick to see. It would have to be in the 43s, deep in the 43s for me to even consider it. 43, 44 would be the optimal kind of situation. So no, I mean, there's nothing. Your first viable money trade would probably be 44.35, which is like right here, and that's a no for me, dog. Yeah, I would have just, like, the market's at 45. Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. And then calls probably just would have been out of the question at that point, just because this just literally happened. Is it likely to happen again? Probably not. I mean, 63-point move isn't like crazy nowadays, but at this time, the market was probably moving an average of like 30 points a day. So double the daily average. This is like, nah, let me hang back, kind of see what's going on, dog. Let me see, wait and see, right? Then I would have went into the next day, and I probably would have traded a 1 DTE for the following day, just depending on how the market moved that day. So moral of the story is trade with stops. I don't care what nobody says. It's going to save your butt. It's going to keep you from blowing up an account. The only thing that saved me from blowing up this particular account is lessons that I learned from the last blown up account, which is I don't trade. I trade with less than 50% of the cash that is in the account. And I'm only doing that much because it's a small account. The larger the account gets, I reduce the allocation of cash that I use for trading, but that allocation never goes over 50%. So in other words, if I have $20,000 in an account, I'm never trading with more than 10. Okay. If I have like 50,000 in an account, I'll probably trade with less than 50%, maybe 30% or whatever. And as that grows, that shrinks. But never go over 50%. So that saved my butt here because I lost more than 50% of the allocated capital, which was like 30% of the account, right? So not absolutely devastating. It's not an account blow up. That saved my butt here. But now I have another layer of safety that really should have been on there, but I was kind of being stubborn and hard-headed and everything like that. And I'm gonna do it my way or whatever. And the market whipped my butt to say, nope, you ain't gonna do it your way. You're gonna do it the way you're supposed to do it. So I wanted to share that with everybody. I hope that it was a valuable lesson, and please come and join the Discord. Talk to me. Let me know what you think. Write some comments down there. Call me some names. Call me stupid. Tell me, this was valuable information. Give me some kind of feedback. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or something. Let me know that there's some eyeballs on this content, because it's not fun screaming into the void. Let me tell you, right? And I know all content creators got to go through this phase when you start out, but kind of sucks when you feel like you have something valuable to share and it's just not getting anywhere, right? So let me know that you're out there, if you are in fact out there, because you may not even be out there. All right, thanks. We out.